What's up, everyone? Here's another episode of the free VST plugin detective, where I basically test out, review, and demonstrate different free VSTs, different plugins, and just see how they work. Are they good? Are they bad? Who knows? That's the point of all these videos. And that just rhymed. Woo! Anyway, so jumping into this one, I'm reviewing the Sonatina, hope I'm pronouncing it right, the Sonatina Trumpet. Now, in case you don't know, when it comes to different plugins and VSTs, especially when they are for live real instruments, so not synthesizers, not something that affects elements or parameters in a track, but an actual instrument like a trumpet, there's really two types of VSTs. One is real instrument. So they actually have, like, say, a trumpet player say, okay, play middle C. They'll play it, record it. Then they'll do C sharp, D, blah, 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 blah. They'll have this with strings and other live instruments. So when you play the notes on the VST, you're actually playing that live recording. In other situations, when it comes to VSTs, what they do is they try as best as they can to simulate what that sound is, right? And in this case, you can imagine, for most free VSTs, it's usually the latter. That's the same thing when it comes to the Sonatina Trumpet. Now, for this one, I give a 2 out of 5 star rating. Normally, this would be a 1, maybe even a 0. Sorry, Sonatina, just keeping it at 100, in being honest. But I'm going to show you how I use this. Now, there's 4 different settings on the Sonatina Orchestra. Now, obviously, you have your typical settings when it comes to most live instruments and other VSTs. You have, obviously, attack, decay, sustain, and release. You have pan, you have the volume. There's no reverb on here. Sometimes they have a reverb setting. This one doesn't have that. As you can see here on my chain, I parallel processed a reverb with other stuff, the wet and dry chain, and did other stuff with it. So you should use, in my opinion, the reverb on Ableton or whatever DAW you're using anyway. I don't like usually reverbs on VSTs, just personal opinion. So I use this in my song New England Patriots. Now, there's 4 main settings you can have with a Sonatina trumpet. The one that I like a lot is Trumpet Staccato. So staccato is when you play a note that's like very quick. So instead of being like legatic or legato, which is like ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-ba-bum, staccato would be like ba-da-bop, ba-da-ba-da. So it's very like fast-paced notes, right? Or very quick. So in this case, I love the texture and the sound of the Sonatina trumpet. So I'll play it for you. So that's how it basically sounds. Now, in case you're curious, this is actually my track that I made about the New England Patriots. Just, if you hate Patriots, the whole rest of the country hates the Patriots, except everyone from New England, so whatever. But I basically made this as like an anthem for them. I have a link listed below to this track if you want to, stream it for free and everything. But in this case, I liked it, because for this song, I wanted a very epic start. I wanted a very epic anthem to kind of kick it off as like a song for the Patriots. And so obviously that's why I use the trumpet. Now in this case, as you can tell, it's definitely fake. You can kind of tell it's pretty fake, but with all the reverb and everything I did with it, it kind of creates, and I'll just solo it, even though in the beginning I think something playing. It does still have a very real, kind of a realistic element to it. And I like the way this sounds, to be honest. The thing about the Sonatina trumpet that I don't like is the other settings. That's why I'm giving it a 2 out of 5 stars, because normally I give it, like I said, a 1 or a 0, but just because of this setting, I really like how this sounds. Now, as you can see, you have 4 settings. Like I said, you have solo trumpet, trumpet sustain 2, and then the trumpet staccato. So a solo trumpet, and I'm just going to play this exact same line, as you can see the difference, is this. Right? It's super cheesy. Like, it sounds like playing one of those Casio keyboards. Now we're going to do, basically, the trumpet sustain. A little better, in my opinion, in terms of trying to be a little more realistic, but still super cheesy, super obviously cheesy. And then we'll do trumpet sustain dos. in my opinion, that one's a million times worse than the other two. And then obviously lastly, I guess, to finish it off, showing you again Trumpet Staccato. And I think maybe the reason why the staccato usually sounds better is when it comes to any fake sounding sound, I hate to be repetitive, but when it comes to anything sounding fake, obviously the shorter of the duration, the harder it is to tell it's not a real instrument. Like, I've even had people say to me, and obviously they're not music producers, but if you think about it, most people listening to your tracks probably are not music producers. They don't know a lot about music. Like, 90% of people, or I take that back, probably 95 or 99% of people who are going to be listening to your tracks are not going to be musicians, know a lot. And I've had a lot of people say to me, like, wow, Mark, who'd you hire to play this trumpet part? Because if you don't know music, if you listen to this while everything else is going on, especially with the reverb, especially with everything else going on, it kind of fills a space that you can't tell that those brief staccatic notes are actually, just a fake synthesizer, a fake basic waveform that tries to simulate a trumpet. So for that reason, I give this a 2 out of 5 stars, or 2 out of 5 rating. I think that basically, if you want to use a trumpet for your track, I suggest either A, get samples, like use Splice Sounds or something. But if you want to create your own trumpet melody, obviously this trumpet melody, as you can see, I wrote it in MIDI. This trumpet melody I created. You could always go to a place like Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and get a real trumpeter to basically play it out for you. So you basically have a real person playing the trumpet, playing that melody that you wrote. But if you really are like, look, I'm on a budget, or I don't want to, obviously, for, like I said, the trumpet staccato section, or the trumpet staccato basically option, it's not too bad. Especially, like I said, for this track, I actually kind of like that it wasn't 100% real. I like that even though it does have, even though it's clearly fake, it has a certain texture or sound to it that I actually preferred over an actual real trumpet for me, personally, as the producer, because obviously what I started with for this song, and I'll basically show you, is start with an epic anthem, then basically built it up, so, just kind of, and then,
oh, baby!
And then did this with it. So for me, for this specific track, it worked out well because obviously the drop itself is kind of that, it's a very cliche, kind of sort of this big room type sound, used, with a lot of different producers. It's kind of like a purposeful fake trumpet, fake horn type sound with a lot of synthesis behind it. And I actually did this in silent, and then I kind of freezed it and flattened it because it was easier to work with because I had so much stuff going on this track. As you can see. So obviously, as you can see, very cliche stuff going on. Obviously, I have the lead. I just call the sound Garrix because it sounded like Martin Garrix to me. And then obviously, another silent one. But basically, I think that the fake trumpet sound blended well with this because they were very similar-ish to an extent because they're both very, very heavily synthesized. But anyway, that's basically my perspective of the Sonatina trumpet. I think that it can be useful in your productions, but only if you use the staccato basically option. Like I said up here, I think the other options you should not use at all. So for that reason, I have to say that it could be useful for you, but being honest, it's sometimes always better to use a real trumpet. Like I said, on Fiverr, you can only pay someone $5 to play the trumpet for you, or like I say, you could go on Splice, download a bunch of samples of someone playing the trumpet, chop them up, do a little sampling, and then bam, now you have your own custom trumpet sound. But for this particular song, if you want to go with that kind of purposeful, somewhat synthesized, but somewhat real-ish kind of sounding trumpet, the Sonatina trumpet, you can't really go wrong with to an extent. I mean, like I said, in all these videos, it's free, but unless you're doing the staccato element, I don't think it's worth it. But overall, I think I do like this VST just for that one thing. That's why I give it basically 2 out of 5 stars. So if you guys like this video, hopefully it was helpful. Obviously, for all these videos, I like to give kind of a real life example of how I actually use these VSTs in my own tracks, and obviously how I basically manipulate them and work with them to make them come to life. So hope you guys like this video, and obviously, like I said, all of these videos, if there are any VSTs or free plugins out there that you would like me to review, definitely post them in the comment section below.